Hey guys, I've been wanting to make a video on this topic for a long time, but I didn't dare to do it. This is because the topic is rather controversial, but thanks to your support and comments I decided to make it. Just want to warn you that this video may be long, so take a cup of tea and sit down comfortably. If you don't want potential spoilers for Baldur's Gate 3 and don't want to make theories about the further development of the game's plot, so you can close this video right away. Maybe the whole idea seems a little strange. Well, not little, it's really strange, but still, let me express my opinion, and in the comments under the video you can tell your guesses and assumptions. After all, we are all currently in standby mode, so let's dream up a little. A small disclaimer to begin with. I want to say that I'm not talking about the fact that Larian took the plot of one game and transferred it to another, in no case, because the game that we will discuss are completely different. They are similar only in some points for me. When I hear something about D&D, the first thing that comes to my mind is Neverwinter Nights 2. While everyone was talking about similarities between Baldur's Gate 3 and Divinity Original Sin 2, I found out more and more similarities with Neverwinter Nights 2. Maybe because it's my favorite game, and as a teenager I spent a lot of time playing it over and over again. For some reasons I started looking for similarities with Baldur's Gate 3 automatically. And actually I found them, and quite a lot. And it's not because the games are united by one Dungeons & Dragons universe. I started seeing similarities as the story progressed. As you can see, I just could not leave this thought alone, and it seems to me that thanks to this similarity, I can also try to predict course of the plot in Baldur's Gate 3. So, first, let's look at the most obvious resemblances between these two games. And I recommend you to watch this video to the end, because it's at the end that everything gets interesting. If you want to play Neverwinter Nights 2, please know that this is a game that was released in 2006, and graphics and user interface are obsolete, so be warned. So, let's start with the main character creation menu. First we choose the race we want to play, and here is my first guess about the races we might additionally see in the full release of Baldur's Gate 3. Why I'm saying about full release? Because I don't think we are going to see those races in early access, so maybe most interesting Larian is being saved for us for later. You can see that a lot of those races that are already in early access are the same in character creation menu here. We have dwarf, an elf, a gnome, a halfling, a half-elf, and of course a human. And look at the other races in Neverwinter Nights 2 game offers us, namely the orc and Plain-Touched. And for some reasons I'm sure that in the game we will definitely have orcs. Of the Plain-Touched we have tieflings for now, but my guess is that Aasimar also may appear in the game. The human-based, Plain-Touched native outsiders that held in their blood some good, otherworldly characteristics. They were often, but not always, descended from celestials and other creatures of pure good alignment. It is also possible that Genasi, the creatures descended from elementals, usually genies, will also appear in the game. Please also look at the main menu character's appearance creation. It's perfectly clear that in Neverwinter Nights 2 it was not possible to create an absolutely unique appearance of your main character using sliders. Perhaps, of course, this can be explained by the fact that the game is quite old, and sliders as such in those days didn't exist in almost any game. Well, at least I didn't see them. But what do we have now? In BG3 there is still the same character creation system. At first glance, the interface is completely different, but if you look in more detail, you can see that there is quite a lot of resemblances. Next, we must choose the class of our character. There is another similarity in my next assumption about future classes in Baldur's Gate 3. I won't list the available classes in Baldur's Gate 3 at the moment because you all know them very well. However, I want to show some of the classes in Neverwinter Nights too. And here there are a huge amount of them. Yes, you can certainly say that all those classes are present in the world of D&D, no doubt. However, the similarities don't end here. The battle systems in games are completely different, but I'll be honest with you, I don't like both of them. Both in Neverwinter Nights 2 and BG3. And I won't explain why, since this is a full-fledged topic for another video. The only thing that I do like is magic spells. The sorcerer in Neverwinter Nights 2 is true deadly. He throws fireballs and lightnings in all directions, and if you don't want him to take a half of your squad in matters of seconds, you need to neutralize him first. By the way, some spells are very similar to the BG3 spells, for example such as Magical Arrow. As the character levels up, the number of arrows that sorcerer can shoot increases. I don't know if BG3 playing this kind of spell mechanic, but it's very similar with the spells in NVN 2. Further, the game presents us with the opportunity to choose the ancestry of the main character, who he is, and this affects the skills and the attitude of our character towards us. And Neverwinter Nights also has those options. Then we start the game, we are given several options for behavior of our main character. Whatever he is good or evil, well, or perhaps neutral, but still he's going to have to take a side. The plot keeps dragging us into the conflict that we can't just get out of. In BG3 we are faced with moral choice of helping goblins or tieflings. The two options are diametrically opposed. Either we do good and save the refugees, or we kill those poor tieflings and help the goblins. And I also found a similarity here, but I'll have briefly to tell you a small piece of the story in Neverwinter Nights to get full understanding of the picture. Our protagonist needs to get into a city block called Black Lake. The quarter was closed for visiting in connection with the mystical murders of lords, and our protagonist is faced with choice. Either he joins the guard of the city Neverwinter and helps restore order and city, deserves his good name, and with that he can get into Black Lake district, or he can get in touch with crime and get himself a pass to this part of city in such way. It's still not so obvious, but I see the similarity in it. Now let's move in most significant and obvious similarities. After 1000 replays of early access, it is impossible to forget that it begins with the main characters being placed a tadpole in the eye, which he tries to extract in all possible ways through the game. What's the similarity in here? The similarity is when in Neverwinter Nights 2, it turns out that a piece of Githyanki silver sword is stuck in the chest of the main character, which we can't get out without killing him. In addition, this sword is a powerful weapon against the ancient evil that threatens to destroy the entire world. I also have suspicions that the tadpole in the head of our protagonist in BG3, more precisely not the tadpole but the one who controls it, also plans to take over the world. Thus, we moved on the main conflict in the stories. In Neverwinter 2, the main antagonist is the King of Shadows, who wants to destroy the whole world, plunge into the darkness and filled with crowds of undead. And we also see in BG3 that Absolute wants something similar.
They had a tadpole! Another bloody mind flayer tadpole! Were we meant to turn out like that? Blissful idiots who thought they were talking to their god? I don't care what they're planning. I care about not turning into one of them.
My point is, we are probably going to save the world from evil, and we are probably going to have to choose whether we can save it or we can just take the evil side. Since we have already touched the topic of Githyanki Silver Sword, here I also see some crossings in the stories. Our protagonist in Neverwinter Night 2 is hunted by all and sundry, because he had a piece of very powerful weapon stuck in his chest, and the Githyanki are eager to take back that rightfully belongs to them. As I said, this fragment is part of weapon that can help a main character save the world. Meanwhile, in BG3, Shadowheart has a strange artifact with Gith runes on it, and the Githyanki are trying their best to get it, since the artifact is also a powerful weapon. So they pursued the Nautiloid knowing that this artifact was on it. I dare to suggest that this mystical artifact is very, very important for the course of the events, and most likely it can also help us either save the world or completely destroy it. Let's deviate a little from his whole theory of saving and destroying the world and return to more ordinary topics such as companions. So we were told that Baldur's Gate 3 will have 3 acts. It just so happened that Neverwinter Nights 2 is also the game consists of 3 acts. Such a little significant coincidence, but since I have already started talking about party members, I want to say that in Neverwinter Nights 2 those companions appeared almost through the entire game. In the first act, the game gave us a most basic companions so that we can survive until the second act somehow. We are given a pretty strong dwarf, who is a warrior, which is not surprising, cunning and dexterous rogue, righteous druid, and an absolutely crazy but really strong sorceress. What else do we need to be happy? Well, gradually, with the development of the game story, we acquire new party members: a paladin, a ranger, a warrior, a sorcerer, a warlock, a bard, and by the end of the game we really get not a small bunch of companions, but a whole army, with which we go to defeat evil and save the world. Which is why I am almost sure and cherish hope that Baldur's Gate 3 new party members of different classes will also appear in such way. Has anyone read the description of Baldur's Gate 3 in Steam? To be honest, I read this description already a year after the release of the game in early access, and it says about tale of fellowship and betrayal. In Neverwinter Nights 2, at the crucial moment of the battle with the great evil, our party members, with whom we do not have the best developed relations, will take the side of the enemy, or simply leave. And here, unfortunately, I can draw a not very comforting conclusion that perhaps in future, in BG3, we will face the same sad fate. After all, we cannot maintain good relations with absolutely all companions. Still, someone will remain for us not so close and leave or betray us. The system for restoring hit points and mana is also very similar to me. It's really cool that Baldur's Gate 3 has camp. It adds a nice atmosphere to the game. However, in Neverwinter Nights 2, in the third act of the game, we are given a whole huge castle at our disposal to restore and improve it.
You are the master of this keep now. You have earned it through service and blood. And you have earned my trust. And that of Lord Nashor. This is your land. Defend it, for the sake of your people and the sake of Neverwinter.
I don't even know what to say. Will Larian also give us a castle or not? But I dare to suggest that we will simply have our own house where we can spend time instead of camping. Or we can stay overnight in taverns and hotels. Because we are heading to a densely populated big city and we will have a settle to somewhere. We can't just set up a camp and make a fire in the middle of the city in the local square. I probably could still find many different resemblances if I play Neverwinter Nights for a while, but at the moment I can't just free my head from BG3 thoughts yet. What do you think about it? Are these just coincidences, or there's still some grain of truth in this? For a long time I did not dare to make a video to reveal this topic, and to be honest, I'm still not sure if I have disclosed it. So I'm interested to know your opinion. Please write in comments what you think about this. Well, that's all for now. Put the video a like if it was interesting for you, so more people can see it and my small channel will be able to grow. Thank you for watching and see you in next video.